Hi students, welcome to the apartment registration tutorial for registration at Lancer Park and the Landings. My name is Jean Wilbaugh, I'm the Director of Housing, and below you see that the contact information for our office is there. So if you have any questions after watching this tutorial, feel free to email us at housing@longwood.edu or give our office a call at 434 395 2080. Just wanted to go over some of the housing options for next year. This past summer, we renovated several apartment areas, and you see those listed there. This coming summer, we have plans to complete those same renovations at the Landings Northwest, the Lancer Park 201 and 203 buildings. Those are all the two-bedroom apartments over in the older Lancer Park, and then several more townhouses. These renovations, you can view pictures of them on the housing website. The renovations will include new flooring, painting, kitchen countertops, new living room furniture, and kitchen furniture. So a nice fresh upgrade to those spaces. The other option I want to highlight is the 12-month housing option at the Landings and Lancer Park. So if you're a current student this semester that lives at the Landings or Lancer Park and you sign up for that same apartment space for next year, you will have the option to participate in 12-month housing, which means you can stay in your apartment over the summer. Or if you're not planning on staying, but you want to store items in your bedroom so you don't have to move everything home with you, you can do that as well. There's no additional cost for this. So this is a great option for students that are looking to save some money if they're going to be here in the summer, or if they want the convenience of storing their items over the summer months. Also at Lancer Park, the parking pass for Lancer Park will now allow students to park at Lancer Park, but also have the convenience of parking in the commuter spaces on the main campus. The FAB will still run the shuttle service to and from Lancer Park, as it always does. So that is still an option for students as well, but the parking is just another added convenience for students. Meal plan options. Living in the apartment communities, you get the option to choose from the block meal plans, which come with more bonus dollars than the all access plans that students are required to have in the residence halls. There's also some additional flexibility this coming year with the meal plans, in that you can more so tailor the amount of bonus dollars that come with your meal plan, as well as you can add bonus dollars at any point in the semester, which you previously weren't able to do. As far as the timeline for housing registration, that'll take place from February 7th to the 16th, and I'll go over the detailed timeline in a few moments. All students that are planning to register with roommates will need to create a roommate group prior to your registration day. So I will go over that process in a moment, but that form is available in the Student Housing Gateway now prior to registration. And so if you're going to sign up with roommates, that's something that you want to do before your registration day. Students are eligible to register for an apartment without full occupancy, but are encouraged to fill the apartment spaces to full occupancy. So what this means is, if let's say there's only 3 of you in your group and you want to sign up for a 4-bedroom apartment, you can do that. And what will happen with that extra space is that another student during registration can register for that space. So at some point, that other space will get filled by another student, but it's no problem for you to sign up without full occupancy. Each day, housing registration will be conducted from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Housing Gateway. Every time you use a new device to log into the Housing Gateway, you'll get a message asking you to enable pop-ups in your web browser. So just keep that in mind, that you may need to enable them if you're using a device you haven't used before to enter the Student Housing Gateway. In terms of registration, each group's going to select one person from your group to be the person that's going to sign your whole group up for the apartment on the registration day. And so you'll want to determine who that person is in 2 ways. Either one, if you're participating in squatting, it needs to be somebody who's currently assigned to that unit to sign up the whole group. Or you want to pick the person who has the most completed credits. So for example, when we get to, say, Rising Senior Day, a senior could be signing up with juniors or sophomores, and everybody could get signed up that day as long as the person logging into the Housing Gateway is the student with 89 or more completed credits. So to go over the timeline, squatting registration will take place February 7th, 8th, and 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Student Housing Gateway. So any student that plans to return to their same apartment unit can register themselves and their roommates on any of those 3 days. They just need to make sure that by the 9th at 4 p.m. they've completed that registration. Otherwise, any apartments that have not been squatted will be made available to other students when we move to the open registration days. And just like as I talked about before, you can register without full occupancy. We do encourage students to fill as many of the spaces as possible with people that they know, but you can register for the apartment without the full occupancy. As I talked about earlier, those students that squat and return to the same bedroom are eligible to participate in summer storage or 12-month housing. The only exception to that are apartments that are scheduled for renovation this coming summer. That is because since we are doing a full renovation of the apartments, we really can't have people living in those spaces or storing items in those spaces during that construction process. The studio lottery will also take place February 7th through the 9th. We have a limited number of studio apartments available to students. Studio apartments are solo apartments where there are no other students living in the apartment besides the one individual. Since we only have 30 of those apartments, we do this as a lottery process, and we only allow juniors and seniors to participate in this process. In our 2 and 4 bedroom apartments, any continuing student can sign up for them. So those are available to sophomores, no problem, and juniors and seniors, but the studios are held just for juniors and seniors. All applicants who submit for the studio lottery will know the outcome of that by 12 noon on Thursday that same week, February 10th. And so those students who are selected during the lottery will then be able to pick a studio apartment. Those that aren't selected will be put on a wait list for a studio, and they can participate in the open registration process the following week. Then on Monday, February 14th from 10 to 4, we will be having senior registration day. So as long as one person in your group has at least 89 completed credits, this will be your day to register. We determine the completed credit total by taking what you currently have as completed credits, and we add to that what you're registered for the spring semester. So if you're a student that transferred to Longwood, and officially transferred credits you had from another institution, or if you had dual enrollment credits in high school that you officially transferred to Longwood, they do count towards this completed credit total. So we do encourage students to verify their completed credits. You received an email from our office which provided you that information. You can also check your completed credits at any time in the Student Housing Gateway. There's a form available now that says check completed credits. And if you click on that, that will give you your credit total. And as we talked about before, you can register for apartments without full occupancy. Then on Tuesday, February 15th from 10 to 4, we will have junior apartment registration. And so this is if you have anybody in your group with at least 56 completed credits at the conclusion of the spring semester, this will be your day to register for an apartment space. And as I indicated earlier, you can register without full occupancy for the apartment unit. Then on Wednesday, February 16th from 10 to 4, we will have registration for sophomores. So this is anybody with if everybody in your group has less than 56 completed credits, this is going to be your day to register for an apartment space. And you can register without full occupancy as you can on all of the registration days. Some helpful tips and reminders. The housing rates for next year are published on our website. Strongly encourage students to discuss those rates with whoever's helping finance paying for your housing. All of the different apartment communities and the different apartment types, like a 2-bedroom, a 4-bedroom, a studio, They all have different housing rates. And those rates are per student, per semester. And so I think it is important to discuss those prior to housing registration so you know what you're signing up for is something that is going to work for you and your family. We always encourage students to review the housing terms and conditions, which can be found on our website. Students can access the Student Housing Gateway directly at the link provided there. That link has been emailed out several times to students with information about housing registration. You can also find that link on the housing website, as well as on the Lancer dashboard off the main website of the university. We always encourage students to have a backup plan. Talk with your group about what your first choice is and what your second choice is as far as where you want to live. As I mentioned earlier, you just want to make sure you enable pop-ups in your web browser. Something that our office will be doing for students is once we finish the squatting registration days, we'll put an announcement right on the main page of the housing website to let students know how many apartment units remain in each community. We do that so that way seniors, before their registration day, will have an idea of how many townhouses are left, 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom apartments in each of the communities. We will do the same thing after senior registration, so that way juniors, the night before their registration, will have that information. And we will do the same thing after junior registration, so that way sophomores will have that information prior to their registration day. That information is typically up on our website by 6 o'clock. Registration closes at 4, so we process that information and then we post that update on our website. We do that because it'll give you a good idea going into the next day. What is the likelihood that you're going to be able to pick your first choice as opposed to your second choice for apartment options? The other thing that's really important is make sure your roommates have all accepted membership in your group prior to your registration date. And I will go over the roommate group form in a moment here to explain that process to y'all. All right, so it's time to go over how you register for housing, what the Student Housing Gateway is going to look like, so that you are prepared for registration day. So this screen should look very familiar to you all. This is the login screen for the Student Housing Gateway. So you'll log in with your Lancer Net ID and password. Once you log in, there'll be a welcome message and your name will be listed, as well as your RMS ID number. I want to highlight that because when you're forming your roommate groups, in order to add people to your group, you're going to need the other student's RMS ID number. So what each student can do is log in the Housing Gateway, they'll see their number, and they can give that to the person in your group that's establishing the roommate group. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew where you can find that information. So underneath the continuing registration section of the Housing Gateway, you'll notice there is a roommate group form button. That button is available right now in the Student Housing Gateway. There is also the button for view completed credits. That is also available right now. When we get to where apartment registration starts, there will be an additional button available for apartment registration. And that is what the designated roommate will click on to complete the registration process for the group. So the roommate group form, just wanted to show you what this looks like and how you will use it. One person from your group will go in and establish the group. So that can be any person that's going to be a part of the group. It doesn't necessarily have to be the person that's going to serve as your designated roommate and sign up the entire group. Anybody who's a member of the group can sign up the group when it comes for your day for housing registration. But what the person's going to do is they're going to click on that Create Group button, that green button underneath the roommate request. And when they click on that, they're going to get an option to invite students to their group. So with this example, you'll see that there's already been 3 students listed there that have been invited. And I'm going to invite another student to my group. And so what I'm going to do is click on the green invite button and there'll be a search area. That's where you're going to put in that RMS ID number and you're going to click on that search button next to those binoculars below. Then that will tell you which student has been found that matches that RMS ID number. And to add them to your group, you're going to click on the green select button. That will then have that student listed above. Something that's really important is you need to make sure that you click the finish button at the bottom of the screen to save all of the individuals you've just invited to your group. Once you click finish, you will get a confirmation message letting you know that it has been submitted. And each person that's been invited to your group will receive an email. That email will give them instructions to log into the Housing Gateway, to click on the roommate group form, to either accept or decline membership in the group. Each student will need to accept membership in the group to be a part of the group and be able to be signed up with the whole group on the registration day. So, wanted to explain the status column on this form. So you'll see up above you have the roommates' names listed and then their status. The leader is just the person who established the group. So there's no special powers to that or anything like that. They're just the person that initiated the group. Anybody listed as a member is a student that's been invited and has accepted membership in the group at this point. Somebody who is invited, they've been invited to the group, but they have not accepted membership. So one thing you want to make sure is before your registration day, you want to make sure that you don't have anybody that's still in invited status because they need to be a member in order to get pulled in and be assigned with your group. So every time somebody accepts membership in the group, everybody who's a member of the group will receive an email letting them know that information. But if you want to double confirm that before your registration day, you can just go in and click on the roommate group form and you'll be able to see what the status is of everybody in your group. So you're going to want the status to be that one person's a leader and that everybody else is listed as a member. If you find anyone in invited status, go ahead and contact them and ask them to go in and accept that membership in the group. And then you'll be totally good for housing registration. So like I said before, once you click on the finish button, you will get a confirmation message that the submission has been received, and the system will generate those emails to everybody who's been invited to the group. Next, I want to show you what housing registration will look like for the designated roommate that is going to sign up everybody for the apartment. So once you click on that apartment registration button, this screen is going to come up. And anybody who has accepted membership in your group is going to show up at the bottom of the screen under roommate group members. If you're signing up as a solo resident and you didn't create a roommate group, that's fine. No one's going to be listed there below, and you can just go on to the next step and you can sign up for an apartment space. If you're somebody who invited group members to your group, anybody who has accepted membership in your group will be listed below in the roommate group members. If you find that someone is missing, it is likely because they have not accepted membership in the group. So before you go on further with your registration, you're going to want to contact them and have them go into the roommate group form and accept membership in the group. Okay, this is why that's why that's so important to do ahead of time, is because if it's done, those students are automatically pulled in on this screen as your roommates when you register. So once you're ready to go to the next step, just click on the next step button at the bottom of the screen. So here's where you're going to actually pick the apartment unit that you want to sign up for. So this is very much like Ticketmaster or picking an airline seat. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to be able to choose which community you want to sign up for. Do you want to sign up for Lancer Park? Do you want to sign up for the Landings? Once you click on the community, then in that white box on the right-hand side of the screen, all of the available apartments are going to show up for you on that list. And so you can scroll through that list to find the apartment that you want to sign up for. Once you found the apartment you want to register for, all you need to do is click on that yellow lock icon to the far right of the screen. Once you click on that, what it'll do is it'll pull that apartment off of the available list so that other students can't sign up for it while you're completing the registration process. So it holds it for you, just like tickets with Ticketmaster, until you finish your transaction of actually signing up for the apartment space. So once you lock the apartment, you're going to click the next step button at the bottom of the screen. and you're going to be brought to this screen where you're going to have drop downs for the different bedrooms in the apartment. And so you're actually going to assign each of your group members to a specific bedroom. In the apartment communities, in the 4-bedroom apartments, the A and B rooms share a bathroom and the C and D share a bathroom. So that's, if you're trying to pair people up based upon sharing bathrooms, that's how you would do it. So you will use those drop downs to go ahead and place your roommates in the specific bedroom that you want them in. If at any point in time you decide, wait, this isn't really the apartment that I want, I think I want to go back to the list and pick another apartment, you can do that without having to start over. There is a release lock button right below all the students' names. If you click on that, it will take you back to the list to pick another apartment. So for some reason, you were trying to sign up for Landings Southwest and you just now noticed you're on Northeast, you can go back without having to restart the process. But if you're sure that this is the apartment that you want and you've placed each of your roommates in a bedroom, all you have to do to finish the registration process is click the next step at the bottom of the screen. Once you do that, you will get a confirmation message that you have completed the registration process for your group. Each group member will receive a confirmation email with their housing assignment for next year. That email will also provide instructions on how to sign up for your meal plan for next year. So the designated roommate is going to sign up all of the individuals in your group for the apartment. Then each individual will be responsible for signing up for what meal plan they want for next year. And so the link to sign up for your meal plan will be provided in the email that each individual receives. This concludes the tutorial for housing registration. If at any time you have additional questions, feel free to email us at housing@longwood.edu or give our office a call at 434-395-2080. We're glad to answer any questions for students and help you through the process. Thank you.